Let the fire crackle low, and the night wind carry my voice across the thatched roofs of Okeile. This is no tale for the faint-hearted. This is the true story of Adunni, the betrayed, and the veil that still walks when the moon is fat and the ancestors are restless. Listen, and do not speak her name after midnight. In the village of Okeile, where the Ogun River bends like a silver serpent and the great iroko tree spreads its arms to touch the sky, lived Adunni. Her skin was polished ebony kissed by palm oil. Her waist was slender as the young bamboo, and her laughter rang clearer than the morning market bells. Every woman in the compound envied her jelly-tying hands. Every man stole glances when she carried water on her head, hips swaying like the dundun drum. She was married to Olusegun, a tall, broad-shouldered farmer whose yams grew fat and whose goats multiplied. For 7 harvests, they had shared one mat, one pot of eforiro, one dream of children. But the womb stayed empty. At first, Olusegun blamed the gods. He sacrificed white kola and poured palm wine at the shrine of Yemoja. But as the seasons turned, and the chief's daughter, plump and fertile with cattle dowry behind her, began to smile at him in the market, something in Olusegun's heart soured like overnight palm wine. Ambition, that silent snake, coiled tighter every night. One Harmattan evening, when the dust danced red in the dying light, Olusegun slipped away to the hut of Baba Agba, the feared Dibia whose eyes had seen too many secrets. The old man sat on a leopard skin, smoking a pipe carved from human bone. "Baba," Olusegun whispered, dropping a heavy pouch of cowries. "I need the barren one gone. Not by knife, not by rope. Something quiet, something that looks like the will of the Orishas." Baba Agba's laugh was dry leaves scraping a grave. From a blackened calabash, he drew forth a thing of terrible beauty, a long, sheer white veil, lighter than spider silk, edged in gold thread that caught the firelight like captured stars. It smelled faintly of bitter herbs and something metallic, like fresh blood on iron. "This is the veil of shadows," the Dibia croaked. "A trader from the white man's ships brought the cloth. I soaked it 7 nights in the juice of the death flower, the crushed bones of a stillborn, and the tears of a woman who died cursing her husband. Wrap it round her head at the harvest festival. The poison will kiss her skin, swell her face like a rotten pawpaw, twist her eye, peel her beauty, until even the vultures turn away. She will die screaming your name, and no one will point at you." Olusegun's hands trembled as he took the veil. That night he dreamed of Adunni's smile melting into maggots, yet he woke smiling. The harvest festival arrived with pounding drums and the scent of roasting bushmeat. Adunni oiled her skin until it glowed, tied her wrapper with pride, and fastened coral beads around her neck. Olusegun approached with the veil folded like a sacred offering. "My jewel," he said, voice honey smooth. "This came all the way from Lagos market. The white ladies wear such things at their weddings. Wear it tonight so every eye will see how much I treasure you." Adunni's face lit up brighter than the full moon. She draped the veil over her head and across her shoulders, the fabric cool and caressing. "Thank you, my husband. Tonight I will dance only for you." Oh, how she danced, bare feet stamping the red earth, hips rolling to the dundun and the sekere, the white veil floating behind her like moonlight on water. Children clapped, old women ululated, even the chief nodded approval. But midway through the second song, Adunni stumbled. A burning began at her scalp, as though red ants marched beneath her skin. She scratched, the veil clung tighter. Heat spread to her cheeks, her lips, her eyes. The world blurred. She clutched her face and screamed, a sound that cut through the drums like a machete. The crowd froze. Adunni's beautiful face was swelling before their eyes. One cheek ballooned grotesquely. Her left eye bulged outward. red veins bursting across the white. The right eye dropped, weeping thick yellow tears. Blisters rose and burst, leaving raw red craters. Her once full lips split and curled back, exposing teeth in a permanent snarl. Her hair fell in clumps, sticking to the poisoned silk. She looked like a woman whose face had been dipped in hellfire. "Olusegun," she screamed, pointing a trembling finger through the agony. "You poisoned the veil. The ancestors hear me. I will return wearing this same cloth, and every night you close your eyes, my face will be the last thing you see." She collapsed in the dust, body jacking like a slaughtered goat. By cockcrow, she was dead. The village wailed. They said it was a curse from jealous rivals. They washed her body, wrapped her in white cloth, the very veil still clinging to her ruined face, and buried her beneath the iroko tree where the river bends. Baba Agba himself poured the libation, hiding his smile. 7 days passed. The village tried to forget. On the 8th night, a fisherman returning late saw a tall woman standing motionless at the forest edge. She wore flowing white. Her face was hidden by a shimmering veil that moved though the air was still. When he called out, she turned. The veil lifted just enough for him to glimpse one bulging, milky eye and peeled skin. He dropped his net and ran screaming all the way home. The hauntings began softly. Olusegun would wake to the sound of anklet beads, the exact ones Adunni had worn, tinkling inside his hut, though the door was barred. A woman's voice, sweet at first, then rasping, "My husband, why do you sleep so peacefully?" He lit his lantern. The flame flickered into the shape of her ruined face for one heartbeat before dying. His new bride, the chief's daughter, now heavy with child, began to find black feathers in her soup. At night, she dreamt Adunni stood beside the mat, veil dripping river water, whispering, "He promised me children too." The child was born dead, tiny face swollen and one eye bulging exactly like Adunni's. The midwife fled the village before sunrise. Panic spread like Hamatan fire. The elders called Egungun masquerades. The ancestors danced through the streets in carved masks and raffia, whipping the air to drive out evil. But when the lead Egungun passed the iroko tree, the white veil appeared behind him, floating above the ground. The masquerader screamed, tore off his costume, and ran naked into the bush. Olusegun could bear it no longer. He went alone to the iroko at midnight, carrying a white cock and a bottle of gin. "Adunni," he cried, voice cracking, "forgive me. I was a fool. Take this offering. Rest." A cold wind answered. The branches parted. There she stood, taller than in life, the poisoned veil billowing though no breeze blew. Slowly, deliberately, she raised both hands and lifted the veil. The face beneath was worse than memory. Skin hung in wet strips, one eye dangled by a thread of sinew, swinging like a pendulum. The other stared with milky hatred. Worms whirred where her nose had been. Her split mouth opened and black river water poured out. "You called this love," she hissed, voice like dry bones grinding. "Now wear it forever." The veil shot forward like a living snake, wrapping around Olusegun's head, burning, searing. He tore at it, screaming, but the silk fused to his skin. He ran blindly towards the river, the veil dragging behind him like a bridal train from hell. Lightning split the sky. Thunder roared like the Orishas themselves were angry. Villagers later swore they saw two figures at the riverbank, Olusegun on his knees and Adunni standing over him, veil now covering both their faces. A splash, silence. They found only one body the next morning, Olusegun's, face swollen beyond recognition, one eye dangling, lips split in the same eternal scream. The white veil was gone. The chief's daughter lost her mind and wandered into the forest, never to return. And so, when the harvest moon hangs low and the dundun drums fall silent, if you walk near the iroko by the river bend, you may see a tall woman in flowing white. Do not call out, do not run. Simply lower your eyes and whisper, "Rest, Adunni, we remember," because the poisoned veil still walks. She waits for any man who poisons the love he promised. And when she lifts her veil, you will understand why some faces are never meant to be seen again. The fire is low now. The story is told. Sleep, but keep one eye open. The ancestors are listening, and so is she.